That is so embarrassing. Liverpool have lost 1-0 to Bournemouth in the Premier League. That is shocking. I'm sorry. We're going to talk about how good Bournemouth were today. We have to talk about them. There will be a lot of narrative from Liverpool fans being angry. But the crux of the issue is that Bournemouth were fantastic today. But we have to just start off with where Liverpool are. How can you win 7-0 against Man United and then go bang? We're going to lose 1-0 to Bournemouth away and be easy to play against. It could have been 2. It could have been 3. A couple of big chances for Bournemouth in the game. And Liverpool just look completely out of ideas. They look completely flat. Obviously, I think for a lot of people, we consider Liverpool season to be a bit of a write-off. In the summer, there's going to be a bit of transition. They're going to need 3, 4, maybe 5 top quality players to come in and make the side competitive against an Arsenal, against a Man City, against even Chelsea if they click. But Liverpool have got a lot of issues right in the here and now. And this isn't a joke Liverpool side. We're talking Salah, Gakpo, Nunes. We saw Jota come on. Bajatic, fantastic Fabinho. Van Dijk got absolutely murdered today. Absolutely murdered. And he's completely out of form. They got Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold at fullback. So this is a very, very strong lineup that Liverpool put out. They should have been riding the crest of the wave of beating United 7-0. Now, I'm not an idiot. Of course, Premier League football can be crazy. And even a 0-0 against Bournemouth away from home is a decent result, especially for the top 4 race for Liverpool. We'll talk about that in a minute. But to go there and lose 1-0 for your main man, the man you put on a massive contract, Mohamed Salah, to go and get that penalty and absolutely not even hit the target. He went for a throw-in. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. And you can talk about the investment. Should the Qataris buy Liverpool? Should there be X amount of money put into the club? Of course, there are a few holes in that squad. The fact James Milner is still playing. I thought Jordan Henderson looked flat when he was on. But we have to be completely real and say that Jurgen Klopp has got a massive issue. He's got a massive issue. There's no consistency for Liverpool. They look like they flattered to deceive. They put 7 past United. They look so good. They arguably looked as good as the Jurgen Klopp side that came close to winning Premier League, if not the side that won the Premier League last time out a few years ago. They looked as electric. Nunes had so much energy and power. Gakpo was incredible. Some of the goals he scored last week, superb. And then you can't knuckle them same lads down to grind out a performance. Not everything's going to be 7-0. You're going to have a lot of adrenaline. You're going to be gassed about it, of course. You go away from home, and then you're expecting, for me, Jurgen Klopp to get his side together, get their heads down, and put in a hard, workmanlike performance against Bournemouth, and they didn't do it today. They've got a big issue, Liverpool, against how they play against sides that sit back, pack the midfield. And you could argue Bournemouth, they didn't put 5 at the back. At the back end of the game, yeah, they moved to a back 3 to keep it tight. But for a large part of the game, it was a 4-4-2 almost, or it was a 4-5-1. It was, Bournemouth were always playing man for man. It didn't look like a side that were fighting. It looked like a side just trying to play football against Liverpool, and they were able to do it and beat them 1-0. And this is a Bournemouth side. They've got a very, very poor squad. Some good players in there. They're having decent seasons. Philip Billing, I mean, what a player he's turned into in the last couple of weeks. He's a player that I think people will be looking at in the future. He's a rangy, athletic, goal-scoring midfielder. Someone's going to snap him up in a heartbeat. And they've got some good players there, of course. But surely that this Bournemouth side should not be beating Liverpool in a million years. Let's talk about that goal. The goal that got it for Bournemouth. Obviously, maybe a lot of Bournemouth fans worried after Arsenal that an early goal on the 28th minute from Billing might actually be another kind of horror story where last minute Liverpool get back in the game like Arsenal did, and it wasn't to be today. So you've got to say fair play to Bournemouth for that. Fair play for staying in there. For a good 70 odd minutes. Of course, Liverpool had their moments. Of course, the referees helped them on a little bit. Of course, there was a load of added time out of nowhere, in my opinion. But Otrasa getting down the byline, and the ball across is absolutely fantastic. He hasn't just placed it in the box; he's whipped it. And Billing has to do nothing, and he did so well last week with what his performance last week against Arsenal, and he's carried it on, and he's given Bournemouth a valuable 3 points. And if we look at the Premier League table, that is a world of pain for Leeds United, for Everton. I think Southampton are gone. For me, they're gone. But Everton have played an extra game over West Ham, Leeds United. Bournemouth now move above West Ham and Leeds United. It's crazy. And Bournemouth, don't forget, for a large part of the season, in and around when they got rid of Scott Parker, they were kind of 14th, 13th. It's not like they've been rock bottom of the league. I mean, they've got the ability to go on a mini run, pick up a few even a clean sheet today. They've got a decent defence. Someone Adam Smith's done absolutely fantastic this season. For me, someone who's probably at the back end of his career. He's been a very good servant to Bournemouth, of course. But he had a good time today. Of course, there was that penalty against him. I think it was weak. I think it was soft. It felt like the Premier League trying to give Liverpool... I feel like a lot of these games this season, the smaller clubs are getting decisions against them because it doesn't fit the narrative that Bournemouth win. Maybe I'm being a bit too conspiracy theorist, who knows, but it was soft for me. It was really soft for me for a penalty. Of course, Salah steps up. It's absolutely embarrassing how far he went for a throw-in. We have to talk about Gary O'Neill. He set his side up to, again, I said it earlier, but this Bournemouth side they don't just sit back, they just sit flat and deep and try and hit sides on the counter attack. They had a little bit of play today. They knocked it around really, really well. Lerma in midfield's been a fantastic player for them that didn't quite work in the first time in the Premier League. Dominic Solanke, obviously former Liverpool player himself. What a season he's having. I know his numbers are really poor, of course, but his physicality, his athleticism, he's got a bit of the kind of Dwight Gale about him, where maybe he's probably too good for the Championship, but he's probably not good enough for the Premier League. Maybe it will click. He's still a young player, but the way he ran the channels today, the way he bullied centre-backs, the way he bullied Van Dijk at points today, absolutely fantastic. We have to talk about Gary O'Neill. If Bournemouth stay in the Premier League this season, with the change of ownership, with the confusion of kind of the long-term future of Bournemouth, because they made a load of investment in the January before they got promoted. Someone like Keith Moore came in for a lot of money, for Championship money. They come up and there's barely any investment. I mean, they've signed Semenyo from Bristol City, which is a very, very good bit of business. And look out for Semenyo, because he will be someone that I think is Premier League quality. He came on today. So there's this weird mixture where they didn't quite strengthen at the right time. Change of ownership. They brought in Semenyo that could actually be the difference maker in small moments in the back end of this Premier League campaign for Bournemouth. And fair play to them. Let's talk about Liverpool. Do they get in the top four? You have to let me know in the comments down below. But somehow they're 3 points behind this Spurs side, who have been absolutely shocking this season. They've been dross. Now Liverpool have got more than enough ability to get back in it. Of course, if you just put 7 past a Man United side that just won a League Cup final, I mean, just saying that, this sounds like a Championship season. If you follow the Championship, the top side can lose to the bottom side, then the bottom side can lose to the side that's 21st in the league. And the Premier League has turned into that a little bit. It's a little bit of a kind of box office. It's kind of crazy. How are Liverpool losing 1-0 after beating the side that just won the League Cup final? 7-0. It's crazy. So there's a lack of consistency for Jurgen Klopp and his men. And Bournemouth were able to really shock sides. They probably should have got a result out of Arsenal, and they didn't. And they were able to pick up a win today, a 1-0 win, a clean sheet. So important for their relegation battle. And Liverpool, a massive dent in the top 4 race. You say that City, Arsenal and United are all confirmed for the top 4. You're looking now, I think with Newcastle dropping, I think they're probably out of it. Spurs and Liverpool, how can you, especially with Spurs' week, they've had a shocking week, got Forest. How can Liverpool afford to drop points? It's a lack of motivation, it's a lack of energy, it's a lack of leadership, and it's embarrassing. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'll see you soon.